Good morning, I'm outside Baker Street Tube Station about to get the Metropolitan line heading north and west to the top left hand corner of the tube map to visit Amersham as I start a brand new series visiting all the extremities of the tube map, or as I like to call it, to the end of the line. Yes, we're starting outside of London as Amersham is in Buckinghamshire, at one of only 2 tube stations to be in Zone 9. Although, when the zones were first introduced in 2001, it was in Zone D, that changed to Zone 9 in 2008. It's also the highest station above sea level, and is the end of the line for the Underground now because that's as far as the line was electrified when new trains were brought in the 1960s. Before that, the Underground regularly served Aylesbury and beyond. Not being in London, it doesn't really feel like an Underground station at all, but that's also because it shares services with mainline children trains, but more on those later. Personally, I've been a regular visitor to Amersham over the years because when doing the Tube Challenge, it's almost always one of the stations that you knock out early on, and that's why it has a really low number on the Labyrinth sequence, number 3 on the 2009 Tube Challenge route. And so many times when doing the challenge, you used to start at Chesham, come down to Chalfont, come into here, and then go up that staircase. Very familiar to me. I've run up that staircase many a times in a hurry to get to the platform on the other side over there to then get the southbound train heading out. Although there was a time when we actually started one stop down the line at Chalfont and Latimere, got the train north one stop into Amersham, came out over there, ran across the road to this bus stop here, where we then just about caught a bus that took us to Chesham, and then got the train out of Chesham heading back into London to try and save time. It didn't work though, so we didn't do that again. So if you've never been to Amersham before, well, that's the point of this video and this series, to get you to come out and see the end of the lines for yourself. From the design of the canopy support poles, the hanging baskets outside, this fantastic clock, the lattice footbridge and the canopy, all with great views of trains too. It's just really nice. The signal box though, kind of lets it down a bit, but don't worry, when we get round to doing Chesham later in the series, there's a gorgeous one there that more than makes up for it. Off-peak, there's 2 Metropolitan line trains an hour, but you also get a mainline service here as well, 2 Chiltern services to Marylebone per hour too, meaning that this is one of those rare underground stations where they have a timetable showing times throughout the day of all services, tube trains in blue and Chiltern trains in red. And aside from the main footbridge, there's also a new second footbridge too. The new footbridge, which brings lift and step-free access, is a recent addition. Back outside and down a side alley, and you'll discover that there's actually a second public footbridge that goes over the station. And it's from this footbridge that we must discuss an important fact. If you look on the tube map, Amersham, top left-hand corner, looks like it might be the most westerly tube station on the Underground. Is it the most westerly? No, because this one is. Yes, have a look on Google Maps or similar, draw a vertical line, and you'll see that Chesham is the most westerly station on the Underground. It's also the most northerly. However, there is a caveat with that, and we're going to look over my shoulder into the distance, and can you see there is a train reversing in the sidings back there? Terminating Metropolitan line trains go into a reversing siding here, and if you're the driver in the cab at the front of the train, then at that point you are now further west than Chesham, so Amersham wins. But there is a way to go even further west, albeit on a technicality, and to do that we need to go for a little walk. Yep, because at 2 kilometres west of Amersham Station, there is a foot crossing in the middle of a wood, Weedenhill Wood to be precise, and although no tube trains ever come up this far, it's only the Chiltern trains that come along this piece of track, it is officially the property boundary between TfL London Underground and Network Rail, and from Amersham it's a 45-minute walk, literally through the woods, until you eventually get to it. And this is it, in the middle of the woods, a stile, fence, all the usual warning signs saying do not trespass. And a sign down there, which brilliant, also confirms that this is the edge of the maintenance boundary for London Underground. Technically, this is the farthest western extremity of the tube, and I'm just going to sit and wait for a Chiltern train. Here it comes. Oh, timing. If you do choose to walk out to here, you don't have to go back the same way. You can cross over the track and go back to Amersham on the other side. This will actually take you to Old Amersham town, which isn't really anywhere near the tube station, but is well worth a visit. The Crown Hotel here is where they filmed the hotel scenes from 4 Weddings and a Funeral with Hugh Grant and Annie MacDowell. Oh, and there's this brilliant place too, the museum. The museum, by the way, is excellent. I mean, come on, it's got a tube roundel right in the entrance. Love it. So I'll be saying this at the end of each video in this series. If you've never been to the end of the line, grab your travel card, grab your oyster, and maybe this weekend, travel to the end of the line. And that is Amersham, the end of the line here at the end of the Metropolitan line. Still got Chesham to do. If this is your kind of thing, press like, press subscribe. There's a playlist coming up with all the others in this series. There will be a whole series of all the other stations at the end of the line.